What the f*** did I just watch? Going into Gen V, I expected it to be Zoomer cringe from the start. I also expected it to be gratuitous and full of shock value. So if you like the cockforce scene from The Boys Season 3, then this is the show for you.
What happened? Marie, what the hell happened?
And then, her parents explode. Tee-hee-hee. Dude, this is some dope shit. And if the people don't like it, I'll just call them a white supremacist like I did the Christmas show. So that was our introduction to our main hero. Bloodbending her period and killing her parents. Every problem The Boys TV show has, this show has tenfold. And without Anthony Starr or Carl Urban, so it's a harder watch to watch than a regular season of The Boys. So here's your general plot. Marie Moreau wants to go to superhero school. A school literally named Godkin University. She wants to get in because not only does it allow her to avoid being sent to a Vought detention center, but she wants to prove to her sister, who she hasn't seen in years, that she isn't a monster. So, of course, the show is littered with references to the other show. But that's where the other big problem of this series comes in. It's The Boys Season 3.5 Final Remix HD. That means if you haven't watched the first 3 seasons of The Boys, you're not going to understand much.
Begins today for the trial of Homelander. She's dead. They need to take that autograph Maeve merch.
This is where we meet Marie's roommate, a YouTuber whose power is getting small by throwing up. A metaphor so subtle for weight loss, they actually say it.
So what were you doing?
A YouTube show. Fun size with Little Cricket? You haven't seen it? Oh, well, I'm kind of like PewDiePie without the Nazi stuff.
God, these showrunners are malicious pricks. They already tried to associate PewDiePie with Nazis in Season 2 when they had Stormfront reference him. I'm not even that big a fan of Felix anyway. But anyone that does any ounce of research on the guy knows he isn't a Nazi. Why? Because some far-right gunman referenced him in his manifesto? You want to know what else got referenced in that manifesto? Spyro the Dragon. I mean, for God's sakes, he's a father now, practically retired. Yet these jealous mainstream media pricks want to keep slandering him. Also, fun fact, Pube Senpai noticed me.
A lot of constructive comments in there. Someone actually commented, "My wife's son loved this. Thank you. Happy to hear you enjoyed it. And thank you for watching."
Lol, I made PewDiePie laugh. Anyway, back to Jen's shit. So here we meet Golden Boy and his hot girlfriend. It's so funny. From the promotion material, I thought they were setting him up to be like the Homelander of this series. But nah, they make him out to be a pretty cool guy for the most part. The white boy all-star favorite student actually being a decent guy. I know, my expectations are subverted. So Marie finds out she didn't get put in the crime-fighting division. Can you guess why they didn't accept her?
You're competing with kids who have cleared homicide cases, who have over 1 million followers, and you don't even have an Insta.
Lol, if anyone picked C. And if you think that's crazy, wait till you see this.
God damn, that's the fastest throw I've ever seen.
Sir, they.
Fucking pronouns!
With that joke out of the way, she asks the professor, "Please let me do crime fighting." And the professor is just like, "No." Yes, but as for the gender fluid character Jordan, writers already broke my #1 rule when it comes to LGBT characters. Never make the queer or trans aspect the bulk of the character, because the gender fluidity of this character is part of not 1, but 2 subplots that happen in the 3 episodes. I call this the Dion standard of good writing, because having your character's superpower being gender fluidity not only makes the concept a joke, but shows you actually have no idea what the hell you're even talking about or who you're even pandering to. I haven't checked social media, but I imagine some gender fluid people will actually find this character very offensive.
Oh, a bi-gender Asian with pronoun fuckery. Great fucking idea, Kyle. Try selling that to Dallas and Fort Lauderdale.
It's a lose-lose situation. Anyways, back to shitting on the main story. Marie sees like an escaped hospital patient being chased by armed security. Very suspicious. So what does she do? She and freaking Magneto help the armed thugs take this guy away. In this scene, Marie's roommate tries to help her make friends, but she really isn't feeling it.
What the fuck is that?
Marie then gets invited to hang out with Golden Boy's crew since Magneto is best friends with Golden Boy. And yeah, he isn't a jerk like I thought he would be. He even listens to the whole killing your parents with a period thing. Meanwhile, the roommate...
Sexy and small. Hanging off my cock. You'd be so fucking hot.
Yeah, so once again, the boys normalizes macrophilia, microphilia, whatever you want to call it. I try not to talk about kink shit on this channel. If you want my full views, go to my Twitter. But regardless of how I feel about his request, I think it's weird Amazon would try and normalize this. Yes, it's a kink that can happen only in the realm of fantasy, but why wouldn't a television show depict it? This is just more shock value crap from the boys. So yeah, she gets small and she hangs on his peenie. And most of what I showed you is only the first episode. I can harp on every shallow, gross, and negative thing that happens in all 3 episodes, but we'll be here for too long. So I'll wrap up this first one, and then I'll go into a few things I do like about the show. And when I say a few, I mean a few. Not Magneto almost kills a lady trying to impress a girl. Marie uses her blood powers to save her. The professor expels Marie to cover up Golden Boy and his friend's mistake. Golden Boy has a vision about his captive brother. Still don't know why he had a vision in the first place. Marie becomes a chance witness to the professor's murder at the hands of Golden Boy. He chases her, naked, of course. It's funny how many dick shots there are in this show, yet there's no boobs. Jordan literally fights him by changing genders. Luke realizes there's nothing he can do to stop people from knowing what he did, so he just blows himself up. Second and third episode are a little bit better because it goes into like the normal Vought cover-up and shallowness stuff that I normally like from Normal Boys seasons. I also find it kind of funny that both Vought and the students don't seem to really care about the professor's death and are only pretending to be sad. Yet Jordan is the only character that actually liked the professor. I believe in giving credit where it's due, so I'll compliment them for that. One contrivance I do want to point out with the second episode is that the professor had an important file that plays into the main story. Literally, just as Magneto is taking the file, an armed SWAT team comes in to retrieve it. Marie also seems to be falling into Vaught's game, going with the narrative that she fought Golden Boy and not Jordan, because Vought didn't think a gender-fluid person would be good enough to run with. In some ways, I'm kind of glad they are giving her character flaws, and they aren't trying to make her flawless like Starlight. But we all know eventually she's going to be turning against Vought, because that's how the show has to run. But again, credit where it's due. So yeah, that's basically Gen V for you. It's not accessible if you haven't seen The Boys. And if you're not caught up, it's straight up spoilers. It's somehow even more gory and more vulgar despite the main characters being younger. There actually isn't as much identity politics as the trailer implied, but it's still there. Like, killing your own parents when you awaken superpowers they essentially gave you by making a deal with Vought. That's a pretty okay premise for a character, and it kind of works for her. But having it be because of her period, is it better than Ahsoka? In some ways, yes, because it has a higher budget and more cast. It has multiple and intersecting plot threads. But the boys' writing team's approach for vulgarity's sake just make you hate Gen Z even more. It's funny how the boys started out as a big FU to the MCU and the superhero craze in general. Now Amazon, in their infinite greed, have turned the series into the exact thing it was making fun of in the first place. Well, if this is the direction they want to go in, I want my Stan Edgar series. Just a series about Vought and their PR cover-ups. It's the best aspect of all the boys' shows. Unfortunately, I'm not that lucky. Thank you all for watching this video. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you all next time.